a film directed by an Australian, starring a Frenchman pretending to be an actor, pretending to be a Scotsman, who befriends a Scotsman pretending to be an Egyptian, pretending to be a Spaniard. We get Highlander. Welcome everybody to Pop Culture. I am Scott.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Monica.
And this episode, we are talking about the cult classic Highlander, requested by our good listener, Jean-Paul. So thank you, Jean, for forcing this upon us.
I think thank you's a bit strong, but okay.
Sorry. I remember seeing this as a teenager, and I remember not particularly enjoying it back then. And a repeat viewing as an adult, apart from all the wacky Russell Mulcahy Razorback camera work and cutting, other than that, there's not a lot I love about this movie. And I'm sorry, everyone tuning in who obviously loves the shit out of it, and I just stomped all over your passion.
They're just going to ignore you, Scott. They're just going to ignore you.
Yeah. You don't care. Yeah, come on. You don't care what I think. Russell Mulcahy doesn't care what I think. Neither should you.
Yeah, I haven't seen this film in a very long time. I rewatched it a couple of days ago to refresh my memory, and I didn't enjoy it the first time I saw it, and I certainly did not enjoy it the second time either. I'm sorry, guys, but I will say, Clancy Brown, you're all right, dude.
Hero.
You're all right.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I saw it. I remember sort of enjoying it. I don't remember it being one of those ones where I just go, oh yeah, that's the best film or anything like that. And I certainly don't have that cult following feeling for it. I love the concept, and I still do, of the immortals being really human and suffering loneliness in their existence, and having just these few who sort of meet and are friends. They know each other over the centuries and eons, if you want, with this ultimate, I guess, dramatical foil of they're going to eventually kill each other to get the ultimate prize, or to be almost like a god, I guess. So as a concept, it is just unreal. I actually think it's really, really strong, and it's probably the reason why people like it, because of that strong concept. Unfortunately, the execution of all of this is so inconsistent and ham-fisted. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll be watching parts of it and I go, wow, that's really, really good. And then all of a sudden you're turning into this horrible, dated 80s cop show sort of television feeling, and then to really dodgy special effects and this clunky dialogue. The dialogue is really, really bad. And then acting, I'm sorry, Christopher Lambert, I don't know why they even put him in it. Like, where and how was he considered?
He was the best choice.
Look, Sean Connery should have just been the Highlander, to be honest. That would have been the easiest switch, and he could have carried that character and been Scottish and done all that, and he's a solid actor, and he'd be able to do something with that. Interestingly, though, there was a little tidbit that came up in what I was watching, and apparently Connery's part in it was all shot in 1 week.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, and he made a bet with the director saying, no, you're not going to be able to do it, but the director won the bet. So, and when I look at that, I go, well, shows how professional Sean Connery is, because, I mean, he's not bad in the bits he's in and things like that.
No, I think he's. But we talked about it when we talked about what was the last Sean Connery movie we spoke about.
You're having really bad memory lapses.
I am. I'm doing 3 a week.
I believe it was The League of Extraordinary.
It was The League of Extraordinary.
He just kind of does his thing, and it's very watchable.
But I think this is better than that.
He's also acting opposite a plank of wood. Of course, it was better than that.
But yeah,
how offended would you have been as a native Scotsman to hear this Frenchman doing that Scottish accent?
Swiss French, apparently.
McLeod.
Not offended enough to not accept the paycheck.
No, of course not. No. But
Couldn't you have
yeah.
just given him some pointers?
No.
Well, yeah, it was only there for a week.
Yeah, exactly. He's
I
not
like how,
American.
like, in the past, they were like, you need to do the Scottish accent, Chris, and then when they get to the present day, it's like, just do whatever the fuck your weird
Yeah,
voice is.
it doesn't matter. Then Clancy Brown, I would say this is the reason this is a cult film, is
Yeah.
Kurgan.
Yeah.
He is an amazing villain. Like, just the presence on screen, the design of him, and the fact that he's still got the scar on his neck from, almost having his head removed from his body, almost. And then the voice, the explanation of the voice being that his neck had been cut to that point, and he just carries it through the whole thing. And yeah, I'd be scared if I saw him coming down another way. That's for sure. It's just like that was just crazy acting. It was really, really well done. And I think this is the reason why it's lasting. I think just this amazing villain with a strong concept, but unfortunately everything else seems to just fluff around that. And
Yeah.
I with the, I guess, premise of the film where everyone will eventually end up killing each other for all of this godlike attainment of power and knowledge, the quickening, I can't help but feel that it's inherently selfish because, what are they going to do with that once they have it? Like, it's easy to see what Clancy Brown's character is going to do with it because he's the villain, and that's what makes it kind of compelling.
Yeah, he's going to plunge the world into darkness, or
exactly. What's Conan McLeod going to frickin' do with it?
Talk to. Well, he's in that little epilogue where he's like, "I'll talk to governments."
Yeah,
I don't
but
it's that.
I actually thought it was more a case of they're just going to end up there by default because they seem to be getting along with each other, and they're talking about going to parties, and all the other immortals didn't seem to be that concerned with trying to fight. There's a few there. There was a few bad ones trying to get the power. Then there was these other ones who were going, well, no, I don't really want the power. I'm indifferent. I'm not trying to. And it didn't really expand on that enough to make it apparent, but I sort of got that feeling from it. The humor in the film just doesn't work at all. It's like they attempt these weird jokes from really racist and sexist ones to these odd moments of, there's a nod to the camera of what's going on from Christopher Lambert, which would be the worst option possible. It's only maybe Connery that sort of pulls off a few funnies with being Mr. Miyagi for the Highlander. Yeah. But that's about it. And Kurgan, probably.
Yeah, he made me laugh a couple of times.
Yeah. But that not because he's trying to make a joke with a nod and a wink, but more because of just who he is and the situation he's in that makes it funny. I still think the scope in it's pretty epic, though. Like the fact you go through the centuries,
the Highlands and World War II, and
it's some of those locations are outstanding. And then there's this obvious nod, I think, from Braveheart almost to the battles in Scotland. I just saw Braveheart straight away and the way it was shot and everything like that, the production design. So it's just so weird how inconsistent it is, though.
Yeah,
it's like I couldn't get my head around how they could do that. They obviously had a budget. They obviously were working to that budget, but it seemed to be put into areas that made portions work and then just totally neglected in others.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It also felt like a lot of things were done in isolation. And what I mean by that is an example would be the makeup through the film. Like, it's pretty bad other than Kurgan. Right? And like, the aging.
They're going for like a look, a distinctive.
But there's the aging McLeod's wife. Who doesn't look old at all at the end. Things like that. It's sort of like the director probably wasn't involved at all in that or something. I just feel like things were done in isolation, like some of the special effects, and I'm I know that the final sequence obviously had the director thinking about it, and that's interesting, but doesn't quite work because it's definitely illustration. If you're thinking of, when the quickening, it's sort of, you had all these nice lightning effects at one point.
I think that's sort of Mulcahy's curse, maybe. This sort of like Razorback is certainly an oddly inconsistent film.
Yeah, but Razorback, I would say visually is consistent. Like it's got the visuals in Razorback are always really consistent. Like you've got a dream sequence, which is amazing. It's an amazing looking sequence. But then everything else is pretty consistent. So, but Razorback's got all other flaws anyway.
It's got a lot of flaws. Because I was reading his sort of filmography. He's had such a strange career for as a music video director, I guess, to sort of did Razorback and then got Highlander, and then sort of really didn't direct much else besides one Resident Evil movie, which I'm sure everyone remembers fondly.
But I think the director of photography in Razorback is the key thing there, isn't it? Not the director. I can't remember Razorback.
Yeah, what? Because
I'm trying to remember who it was.
I couldn't tell you who. Dean.
Yeah,
Dean Semler.
Maybe. Yeah, I have to look that one up. But it's just sort of
it's the cinematographer of Mad Max.
Yeah.
And Dances with Wolves. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, now you I knew there was that link. Yeah, I knew it was pretty big. But yeah, it's a hodgepodge in the end, and it's really a shame that it was so, because sometimes you get these films that have some of the most solid concepts and it just is not pulled off. And we talked about this a while ago where we're going, what films would you remake and things, and I just realized as I was watching this is a film that's begging to be remade into a good film. Begging to.
And I'm sure like it's
I think it is.
I'm with you. Like the concept is strong enough to be like quite an amazing action film.
I mean, you'd change the script a lot, but you'd keep that core concepts of it, and you could have a really, really good, you could have a really good film. So I pose the question to you both of who would direct it and who would star in it.
Having just watched *Malignant*, I think James Wan doing a remake of Highlander could be pretty cool. Like, he knows how to do action. His Fast and Furious movie is pretty fantastic. Aquaman was really good as far as action and stuff goes. But he's also got this very peculiar visual style that might, could flair for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to see this film remade in any capacity, despite this concept.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, it just doesn't really intrigue me all that much. But I will say, I remember when I was a kid as well, there was a limited television series which continued the story of Highlander, which I thought was quite good. It takes on a character called Duncan MacLeod, who is a descendant of the MacLeod clan, and sort of takes the premise of all of these immortals making a pact to not fight each other and not take part in this combative style, and then someone breaks the pact. That, I think, is a stronger story than what we have in the Highlander film.
But that could be the remake.
It could be a remake. I'm just saying it's something that does already exist, which wasn't too bad.
This is one thing we need to acknowledge, I think, is like, yes, we're talking about this in the realms of it being a cult classic, because there's like a heap of movies, there's like 2 TV shows, there's an animated show, there are novels. This is a big pop culture commodity, and I think things like there can only be one. People know what that is without necessarily having seen Highlander.
Yeah, of course. And if people are going to say, do you know what kind of movies Chris Lambert's been in, it's going to be Mortal Kombat or it's going to be Highlander. It's going to be one of the two.
Or Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, right?
Or it'll be Chris who?
Didn't he play Tarzan one time?
Or it could be like, please identify this actor, and then you do the laugh.
Or it's like, is that Tom Jane?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually shocked they haven't remade it already, to be honest.
Now that we've put it out there in the universe, it will be.
2023.
Yeah, I was imagining someone like Tom Hardy as McLeod.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. Someone who's
Maybe
doesn't have to talk a lot and but can express a lot. It's.
I mean, if you're going to get a Scotsman, what's James McAvoy doing?
Yeah, I thought of James McAvoy. He'd be
Graham McTavish. It's my favourite Scotsman.
Yes.
Angry. He's just a big angry Scotsman.
Yeah, but then we have this problem. Who could do Kurgan, really?
Clancy Brown.
Yeah. Just come back.
Just come back and do it. Ramirez can be played by Antonio Banderas and because, he's
That's
already...
exactly what I had. I had Antonio Banderas as Ramirez.
Yeah, because he's already done a fair bit of training
with like an Egyptian.
There you go.
An Egyptian pretending to be a Spaniard.
I mean, in the grand tradition of Hollywood miscasting roles for actors, I think probably casting Antonio Banderas would still be appropriate in their eyes.
Probably. But he's called the Spaniard. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give it one.
It's unfortunate. Yes, it is still. I think there's an essence to this film which made it stick around, and it's obviously it talks to some more than others. And unfortunately, the film itself is not, I guess, what makes it still continue more than the concept behind it.
Yeah.
The whole thing though, like the whole package. You also got to. I think you need to acknowledge that the Queen, it's so odd. Then you've got these songs by Queen in this movie with this weird rock and roll punk villain.
Exclusive songs too, unreleased stuff.
Yeah,
Queen doing New York, New York.
I also couldn't help but make the connection again with Queen and Flash Gordon as well, which confuses the Highlander film a little bit more.
Yeah, Queen... Highlander's camp, but not that camp.
Yeah, exactly. I can see Queen, having a very firm foothold for something like Flash Gordon, but for Highlander, I'm happy to always listen to Queen, but I'm not sure if it works.
It's okay because we've got that scene where Chris Lambert names a Queen song as he leaves the room. It's why would that have made her feel better?
It wasn't in the script. Christopher Lambert was just mumbling to himself.
He just learned a card trick. He's the part that drags the movie a lot for me.
It's so essential. He's the main character.
I know, and he's so bad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I know he gets praised for certain movies he was in. Was it one he was in Subway where he got nominated for a whole bunch of awards? I've never seen it. I don't care to.
Isn't that a European film though?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
the Luc Besson film.
Yeah.
There's another problem, but anyway, he's just so uninteresting.
I wouldn't call him uninteresting.
No, I wouldn't either.
Creepy.
Thank you. That's the word. Creepy.
He's creepy. He I just found him just really flat for a lot. And he's creepy.
He's flat, but the flatness has a creepiness about it. It's like he's being sleazy or something in some of the delivery of the lines, and they're really innocuous lines. It's nothing to do with anything, and you're going, what?
Yeah, it could be in the bar scene where he's trying to sort of hit on Brenda, being like, "What are you drinking?" And I was just like, "You're not even looking at her. What the hell are you doing?"
Anyway, I can't say much more about this film. It's a childhood nostalgic thing for me, but it was never really that gripping for me. I remember it And so when we looked to doing it, I went, oh yeah, that'd be good to see that one again. And yeah, it's
actually,
it's
I struggled to get through it. I remember the second one though, because it's like so bad.
I was going to say because it's really terrible.
And I was like sitting next to my wife, and I'm like, "Oh, have you never seen the second one?" And she's like, "What? After this masterpiece?"
in the same sitting.
you got 3 you could watch.
Yeah, I'm good.
And a cartoon series, excellent.
Yeah, for the kids. Nothing screams children's cartoon like a bunch of decapitating immortals and Clancy Brown screaming at the top of his lungs.
Absolutely.
he was fantastic though.
Yeah, the only takeaway I have is that how much I really appreciate Clancy Brown and everything that he does, even if the end product's not good.
Yeah. It's better to burn out than fade away.
Exactly right.
In the strangest piece of punk wisdom thrown at a church minister in a film I've ever heard.
Oh, I think I'm going to go watch SpongeBob SquarePants just to like sort of put a nice balm on top of this scar.
Nice. I like it. Highlander. Thank you for suggesting, John Paul. I hope we didn't shit all over your dreams. But it was fun. It was fun, like, to talk about. That was for sure. I had more fun talking about it than I did watching it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we've got to have films like this. You can't have everything you love. It's good.
Yeah,
that's true.
Good to get that.
Variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Pop Culture. I've been Scott.
I'm still Jason.
And I'm still Monica.